We're back.
We're back.
Summer's over.
No, yeah. The summer's fucking
and
over.
We're back.
We're back. So today, we're going to talk about this being a working ass summer.
Working ass summer.
It was quite ghetto.
Trash.
Just throw it in the trash.
Just chalk this one up as a learning experience.
Yes.
And, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all we can say.
That's it.
It's not sad. It's just trash.
It's just very much of reality.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
If you own your own business, or if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, please prioritize. Mm-hmm. I cannot stress that enough. I don't know if that's where we want to start here, but like maybe we circle back to that. But like, please prioritize.
We're working entrepreneurs. We have our entrepreneurship journey, but we also have a job or something that we're doing on the side to fund that. So it all wraps up and together. So maybe this will be a two-parter.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're sipping on some mimosas in our red Solo cups today.
Yeah.
We're in real summer-esque. Clink, clink. And before we hop into this episode, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
See, we didn't forget.
No, we didn't.
All right. It is the end of August.
Yes. When this airs, it'll be September.
It'll be September. Hopefully, we will be less burnt out because the bitch is tired.
Yes.
Tired. So life as a working entrepreneur has been interesting.
So fill us in. I know there's been a lot of like new ventures, like what you're doing. Like fill us in on that.
I'm always doing something different. So yes, of course, I'm doing something different now. I am at the lounge doing IV hydration for the majority of my time right now. It's not quite full time, but I'm there for most of my days. And then I recently signed a contract. So by the time this airs, I'll be able to talk more about it. But I did sign a contract to start my aesthetic nurse journey. So I'll be doing. Yes, I'm so excited. Like it just adds to the happy nursing resume. So
yes.
I'm doing nursing on my terms. That's how I look at it. Like I'm doing happy nursing. I'm doing nursing on my terms. So I'm just trying to wrap up the end of the year with like nurse wellness via IV hydration, aesthetics via Botox and filler and facials and all the things that I like to do, like already naturally, and it just fits into me being a nurse as well. Of course, the podcast, we're going to continue with this because this was missed. There was things that was happening, and I'm like,
so many things. I was like, I need to come on here. We need to talk about this.
But it's cool because now we got ammunition for the next couple episodes. So of course, the podcast still continues to live on. My shop page, I still make all the beautiful custom things. I'm like, that's still what I like to do for fun. So. That's the podcast, and the shop is the entrepreneur side of me, and then the nursing portion is like I'm an independent contractor, so I'm still working for me. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid. Like I don't have the luxury of PTO. Like it's just it's little things like that you don't even think about at the beginning because you're just so excited about it until you realize like, yeah, if I take 4 days off, I don't get paid.
You're not getting paid for it.
So make sure you separate your pennies accordingly.
Yeah. Yes, because you can't just. I didn't go away for my birthday. I didn't really go away at all this summer, but I can either sit down and be sad about it and be like, oh, I didn't go away for my birthday. I didn't have a summer. I was working. I didn't have the luxury to be like, hey, boss, I'm not coming in.
Right.
Like, approve my PTO. It's like, all right, if I trade in this time for like a day at the beach, I'm not seeing clients. I'm not doing other things to help me be able to fund that. So, I mean, it's like a balance of how you're going to figure it out.
It's like the entrepreneurial life balance now. It's like, how do you not work all the time?
Yeah.
How do you not go to the beach and say, oh, I can do this content really quickly? Like, for my birthday, I did that. Like, anything that I created or that I posted was strictly for me. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I wasn't trying to tell anybody. I was just, like, truly enjoying it. That was 6 days of unplugging. When I got on social media, it was to post my own stuff, not to read everybody else's bullshit. And was just very selfish with my time. Like, I didn't text everybody back immediately. I live on Do Not Disturb because y'all be disturbing me. So I live on Do Not Disturb. I am
quiet mode all the time.
I'm an overstimulated human. I think that's where I'm an overstimulated human. So the dinging on the phone, the constant questions. I'm like, I need to like quiet the noise because I have enough meetings in my head without distractions.
Yeah. All my meetings start when I'm about to go to sleep. Like, what is happening? Why am I thinking about this content right now to post this special, this thing? It's like, no, you have to. There's no turning it off because when you're working for yourself, there's always something that you could be doing, and like I said before, you have to find that balance because if not, you're gonna get burnt out, which a lot of us experienced this year. Like, let's talk about all the flashiness that everyone wants to create on Instagram and social media.
Let's talk about it, because I'm trying to figure out how everyone is traveling the world and nobody is working.
How?
Everybody went to Dubai. You don't have no job.
Everyone has digital marketing content. How? Everyone has a Amazon KDP store. Guilty. How are you making $10,000 a month on coloring books?
I'm not buying your ebook. I'm not going to buy your fucking ebook so that you can teach me how to be a millionaire because it's not real.
No, please stop. Please stop trying to sell me on that. I know that works for some people, but when they try to make it seem like, and you can do this too, and this can be all yours, it's not realistic enough for me to be like, you know what, you're right, this can be all mine. It's passive income. That's, there's nothing passive about it.
That is everybody's goal, so they use that word. And they suck us in.
You have to put in so much work. Like, you're not going to get everything for nothing. So if you want to create coloring books on Amazon and notebooks and digital content and Etsy stuff, and you have to put in the work.
You might have to create 20 coloring books before you sell one.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to, and I think that's the question, like, if you are starting your entrepreneurship journey, are you okay with putting all your time, money, and effort into something and you not getting a return that first 6 months or the first year or the first 2 years? If the answer is no, then this ain't for you because you're not always going to see a return. Like, I was looking at my Etsy sales and I'm like, all right, I've done officially to date over 300 sales. Most of those sales came from maybe 2 to 3 items. I had, because I just cleaned it up, I had over 20 items on my Etsy shop, but only 3 of those things were selling enough that got me to 300 sales.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But if I would have just gave up and like, all right, I created one thing and it didn't sell, then I would have never gotten to the 300. It's just, it's something that I constantly have to work on. I constantly have to revamp. I research what's selling. Like, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see. They just see, look, I made, I'm a star seller on Etsy. Well, what were you doing to get there? Because that, like, if I take more than an hour to respond, that's like a ding on my end. Like, it's a lot to be an Etsy seller. So let people know, like, that did not happen overnight.
Yeah.
And you got to hold that status, like, every month in order for them to call you that. Like,
keep saying that.
It's not easy. But that's how it's portrayed.
Now, I think you have to humble yourself a little bit too, because
a lot of it.
If you're going out and just, you're getting all the latest everything, whatever everything is to you, right? If you're going out getting the latest of everything and doing like what you think everybody else is doing, that's coming out of somewhere.
Right.
So if I'm gonna, this is probably a silly example, I'm gonna go get a Stanley mug because I have one. Guilty. I'm gonna go get a Stanley mug.
Those things.
$40 to $50. Okay. Right. Just so I can show you that I have a Stanley mug, so that it shows some kind of credibility on social media for me.
It's like a status now. You've reached the Stanley mug status. Meanwhile, there's people like, I found the Temu version for $5.99
and less than that. So you have to prioritize, like, why are you doing that? Because now there are little like charms for your Stanley. There's crossbody bags for your Stanley. There's all these. They're creating this whole thing around this mug that everyone needed to get.
Fits in all those little
I'm sure they do, and the little thing on top with the. You have
Order
to
a Stanley decal from me. I got you.
We'll put it on your Temu mug, and they fit the
Tomato,
same way.
tomato.
The whole thing was it has a handle, fits in your car's like cup holder.
Yeah.
Because none of the
I
other
was
ones
gonna say,
do.
so what's the big thing? Because as much as I'm a cup lover and I love the tumblers and all that, what's the big thing about the Stanley mugs? Is it the
It has a handle, and
handle?
it fits in your cup holder.
okay? Because the bottom part is skinny.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's what sold Jamie on the Temu version. She was
Yeah.
like, it fits in the cup holder.
And it's perfect because it holds like 3 bottles of water, almost three bottles
And
of
it
water.
keeps things
That's
cold
great.
for a long
Keeps
time.
things cold. That it has its perks, but like if you're just getting it because you got sucked in to like, oh, everybody's getting this mug. It's an
Like,
amazing.
TikTok
It
made
has
me do
to.
it.
TikTok made me do it. Like then look back and be like, shit, that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that.
Stupid.
Humble yourself because you don't have to have the latest of everything.
No, it's okay. It's okay to miss
To
out.
be successful,
It's
that
okay
does
to
not
miss
equal
out.
success.
Like Stanley mug does not mean that I am thriving and living
No,
my best
because
life.
if my gas is on empty and I can't cross the bridge to come to the studio
You might have to sell that $40 mug for
for like $20 on Mercari.
like, so I was off camera. I was talking to you about this post that somebody was talking about, just entrepreneurship. So the post says, never in my 10 years of being a stylist have business ever been this slow. Oh my God. And then the comment was, it's your prices. We're starting to learn how to do it ourselves and to do it ourselves. Prices include washing and drying. They last much longer. But I was like, this is interesting because I feel like I fall into this category of, I used to have a nail girl and I used to have a lash girl and I used to have a girl that did my hair. I do my own lashes, I do my own nails, and I do my own hair now because they got out of control expensive. Not only out of control expensive, but businesses that don't respect your time. If my appointment is at 10, I should not be leaving at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, no.
I do not want to spend my entire
Unless you
day.
know that ahead of time.
Right. If I'm going in like, all right, Mel, you want this process, it's going to take X amount of time, cool. But if I'm going in for a sew-in and it's taking you my entire day, I don't want to sit somewhere all day long because you don't know how to book your clients or you want to overbook because you're chasing the money. Well, now you lost a client because I don't want to sit here all day, and I'm sure nobody else does. Nails, same thing. Like, pandemic taught me how to do my nails. Like, pandemic taught me how to do a lot of things on my own, and I just continue to do it that way. So I saved myself a lot of money. But the caption says, can we talk about how sales are down 30 to 50% and no one is talking about it? We've recorded several, and she also has a podcast, Marketing by Monray, I'm sorry. We've recorded several podcast episodes about this that I'm pushing to this season because we gotta stop being ashamed because it's not going right. And I'm like, no, she's onto something. The reason why we get depressed as entrepreneurs is because we feel like we're the only ones going through it. And guess what? You're not alone. We're depressed because we can't get the answers and it's all messed up. But we're portraying, like, you're portraying this lifestyle. But in the background, it's like, no, things are not okay. And that's cool. Guess what? That's more relatable.
Yep.
More people are going to relate to you and be like, girl, let me tell you, my first year of business, I cried every day. Versus, I was a complete success my first year of business. Like, come on, like cut the shit. You know it wasn't good. And that's okay to say. And then I learned by doing X.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's 1 in a million.
Right.
Don't quote my math, but that's not everybody is coming out like balling the first year. Like, that doesn't.
And if you do, that's great. But then I also know that there's highs and lows. So if you start off at high, just prepare and save your coins, because when that low comes, you'll be ready.
Yes.
Because it's coming. It's always going to be ups and downs. It's not only us as entrepreneurs. It's all big businesses. There's still a labor shortage. There's still so much going on. And we're in this space where everything is expensive, and we're trying to start these businesses or are in these businesses where we're trying to sell you more services out of pocket when things are already expensive. So we get it.
Yeah.
Like, we just get it. Like, that's just what it is.
And the other day I had posted that we had 5 or 6, I think it was 6 clients in one day. I think it was, I'm going to say 5. Maybe it was 5 clients in one day. And we didn't have ever in the time that we've been open, almost 2 years, 5 clients in one day. That was a great day. The next day I had 1 client. Like, that's just how it goes. So whatever money I made that day doesn't mean I go blow it all the next day, because
you hold on
let me tell you, these profit and loss statements again that you have to be doing as an entrepreneur, because you have to be checking where your money's coming and going, will humble you. Like, just because you made $300, let's say one of my treatments is $300. My rent is almost $900, so that covered that, right? So now I gotta. You just have to keep going.
Like,
so
sometimes you're
celebrate
making
that.
in a week where you're like, all right, cool, rent's covered.
Got it. Celebrate that, but don't get so excited that you just go blow it on. Now I'm gonna celebrate and I'm gonna go buy my dinner, and dinner's gonna cost $100 and all that.
For this business, that's the only thing you should be buying.
Yep.
And putting back into it. Like, it's
and when they tell you, like, so you have a lot of social media gurus that are like, be consistent. Consistent is like objective. Like, what are we talking consistent? Is it 3 to 5 days a week? Is it 3 to 5 times a day?
Is it every Monday?
But that should not be your marketing strategy.
Right.
IG should not be your marketing strategy. TikTok, you just posted the other day.
I just did.
2 same videos
right to see where it's at.
Same audio, same everything.
Audio, same hashtags, everything the same, posted at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Like,
and the difference in
views. So I'm like, yes, when social media, Instagram in particular, at the big, I'm not even gonna say first started, but a couple years ago, yes, free marketing. Even now, yes, free marketing. But with these algorithms and shit, people aren't seeing what they need to see. You need to invest in your business and pay for marketing outside of social media, because we all know Instagram is broken. We all know social media goes down. However long ago when social media went down, people lost millions
and their minds,
because they didn't have a backup website. They didn't have
what they call the marketing funnel.
Exactly.
You didn't have the funnel. You didn't grab people's email addresses so you can reach out to them on your own, in your own way, that had nothing to do with whether or not something else was working.
You could say, hey, that would have been the perfect message to do a text blast. Hey, I heard Instagram's down, but my website's still up. Like, you know who's good at that? Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova texts you in the middle of the night. Hey, babe. Are you awake? Like, it's those things that as much as that can be annoying, there's times where my phone goes off and I'm like, that's just Fashion Nova.
They know what they're doing.
Like, they know what they're doing. Something crazy happens, something in pop culture happens, they use it
to their advantage.
Like, they do it right. Let me see, where am I? What was it? So the reel got 124 views on Instagram. And I'll get screenshots so we could do a side by side so y'all can see, because I'm not lying. And then on TikTok, it is at 1,096. So
huge difference.
124 versus 1026. Like, and I'm not on TikTok, I'm not like niched down or anything. It's just literally I am _Melanie, because it's all of the things that I do, is all the things that I love. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone. It's just where I like to dump things. And I just notice I always get more. And I get people asking me questions on there. There's a video that I have that's been saved over 500 times. Like, there's way more engagement on TikTok. So that's just what it is. But again, if you sell something, whatever your goal is, or you set your goal and then you invest it into marketing. Like, even at the lounge, I want to say that before it was kind of like 50-50, or even more so people coming from Instagram. Now it's all Google people. Now it's all, hey, I Googled IV hydration near me and you guys came up and I saw you had good reviews and the pictures look great and blah, 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 blah. But Google, if you have a business, you need a Google business page. It is free.
Yes.
It is free marketing. If you have sold something, if you offer any kind of service, send that link out to people.
They will call you.
They will call you.
Every single day, trying to make you spend money for Google ads, and same with Yelp. Yelp is free. Google is free. And
you can just use it. And like, that is free. And then they also have things like you said, you pay for your ads or whatever, but if I have to choose, if it came down, one day you had to choose between social media marketing and off social media marketing, I would invest in off social media marketing.
Absolutely.
Like, and there's just more apps. We were talking about the other one, Lemon's Aid, and Threads is out, and
trash.
Yeah, it's too
so hyped.
Much.
Too hyped. Now all I'm seeing are Threads templates on Instagram.
Yep.
So
that's it.
I don't get the difference.
Like, I used Threads for about a week, and then I went right back to Twitter to talk to myself. And now I only use X. I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
No, fuck that. Like Franklin Mills is gonna be Franklin Mills.
No, but can we just talk about? We could put the picture up of it. So every time I look at it looks like my screen is dirty, and it bugs the shit out of me. That the new logo looks like the screen is dirty. No, I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. So now I'll go to Threads to put something if I want to share it, because I know it's going to share on that cute little template. But I'm not on Threads. First of all, I can't control who I see and who I don't see. I don't want to see all of those people on there. I don't know them hoes. Like, I don't want to see them. So I use Threads because it's aesthetically pleasing to share, but I use Twitter to talk to myself.
Yep.
And I'm like, and even Twitter's still more engaging than like Instagram. Instagram's dead. We just can't. Well, for some reason, we just can't break up with it.
We can't.
We're in a toxic relationship.
It is such a toxic relationship with Instagram.
We know it don't work, but we keep using it. You keep taking them back. It's toxic. Fucking toxic. If you can do anything differently when you started this business, what would that be?
If I could have done anything differently, I would have marketed the old-fashioned way first, because I think there was a little bit of a sense that if you build it, they will come. If you post about it, they will like it. And your friends are going to be the first ones knocking down your door for whatever you have. Your friends are supportive of you, yes, but that doesn't mean that they're helping you to pay your bills and to get your business off the ground. So I would have flooded. So I do this more now, but I would have flooded gyms, restaurants, stores, like all this stuff with like business cards, flyers. I would have done like the old school marketing before just like throwing everything into Instagram and Facebook ads and Instagram ads and like doing all that stuff, because it's just because you post it. Like, we have one reel that did like 2 reels that did like really, really, really good. That's those 2 reels.
Right.
And then what happens?
And they don't always translate into sales.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go on.
That's 6,000 views on one. That's a huge deal to us.
Yeah.
That didn't mean we got 6,000 people coming in the door.
Into sales.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't always translate into sales. So like, for the lounge, we have, let me see, our top reel is probably like 60-something thousand.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it was just someone that we collabed with. So we had like we had an ambassador situation going on for a little bit. It was like 66,000 or something like that. I can't find it, but like this one's 17,000.
That's good.
And it gets 17,000.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that.
I think we got 1 or 2 appointments over that. Like, it does not translate.
And views
into
doesn't mean likes, and likes doesn't mean sales.
You know how many times my phone just keeps going into people's stories? People probably think I watch their show all the time. No, I'm just not paying attention, and my phone is gone. Like, it's just it does, just because that person has 1,000, 10,000 followers and they got 10,000 this on that. Like, it doesn't translate into money. It doesn't translate into you are making this appointment. And I like the old school way of marketing. I think, especially if you have the personality for it, if people just naturally gravitate towards you, use that shit and make connections with people, because they remember. Oh, remember I met you at such and such. Yep. People like that. I've noticed that people like that more than like, oh, I saw you on Instagram, because that can be kind of weird. I've had people like just randomly like, oh, hey, Nurse Melly, and I'm like,
who are you?
Oh, hi. And I feel like I gotta be like on. Like, well, maybe I was just like ugly that day and I wanted to be at the market and I wanted to go in and out, but now I gotta be Nurse Smelly because that's who you know on Instagram. Where if it was somebody's like, oh, I remember you came into my business and you talked about what you do, and okay, that I'm gonna remember more. I'm like, I talk to people constantly, questions from other nurses, how did I get in this space? Like, I talk to so many people on social media via DM all the time, so I don't remember everyone. But I remember the people that I speak to, like face to face. Absolutely.
I think the next episode we should talk about some free game to give the people, so a little incentive to come to the next episode.
Yes, because right now we're venting.
Yeah,
but I feel like this is relatable venting.
Yes, And I think there's ways, like, we learned the hard way, and now we have some suggestions. Do this. I'm not saying to, like, come and take my master class and do. No, I'm going to tell you what worked for me.
You don't have to pay for nothing at the end of these episodes. Yeah. Learn from our experiences. Yeah. I have, like, you've branched out into entrepreneurship, and you have a whole brick and mortar. Like, you have a space. I branched out to entrepreneurship, but mine's is all virtual online. Like, I sell everything on an online platform, and the other version of that is me. Like, I build my skills up. I learn how to do facials. I've learned how to do chemical peels. I'm going to do this aesthetic training, because to me, I'm the brick and mortar. You're hiring me as a business to help add services to your business. That's not easy either. Like, all that shit costs money. And a friend of mine, actually, Cynthia, I'm going to give you a big hug through the screen here. Yesterday, she was telling me how she wants to branch out and start her own business, and she's been working for the job that she's been working for a really long time. But before that, she was EMS. I remember when she first started, and she was a paramedic, and life happened, whatever, and now she's doing this other job, but she really wants to branch out into entrepreneurship. And I was like, well, you should absolutely do it. And she was like, and I have to tell you, she was like, and guess who inspired me? And I'm like, not me. Like, girl, I'm not nobody's inspiration. She was like, no, you really did. Like, things like that touch me, and they always keep me humble, because I don't share what I share to, like, brag or to anything. It's just very much like, I'm doing it, and I'm regular, y'all. I'm so regular. Like, we all have the same 24 hours. I'm doing it, and some days are good and some days are a struggle, but I'm doing it, and you could do it too. Like, you could absolutely do it. So I was just like, oh, like, I love moments like that, because I'm like, I share because I know other people are in a space where it's just like, maybe I could, whatever. Like, I was like, listen, I know that the way I live my life and the decisions that I make and the things that I do to certain people might look crazy. Like, what is she doing now? She's always doing something. I am always doing something. And I will continue to move that way, because if I don't feel good in a space, I'm going to move. If I'm doing something that doesn't make me happy, I'm going to continue to move. I'm not going to be in any space in my life, in any aspect of my life, where I'm unhappy. I can't function that way. And I'm like, gots to go. So, before we wrap this episode up, anything else you want to add? I have last words. I
think I like your last words. Okay. So yes. Yes, please.
So my last words are courtesy to my best friend, Jody. G-Money Grip Tight Jeans. So she came to the lounge to get IV hydration, because she supports everything that I do, because that's what she does. And we were just talking about business and work, and she said something to me, and I told her this yesterday as well. She said something to me that really was living in my head rent free, which was, I feel like I am an entrepreneur for someone else's business. And I was like, ooh, I feel that. And I've felt that way in most of my roles and most of my jobs, because at the end of the day, and this is why I always do multiple things, because number one, I don't like doing the same thing every day. That's just not me. That's why I fell in love with the ER. No 2 days are the same. But no matter, you can put your all into something, and if it's not yours, and you decide this is no longer a good fit for me, or they decide you're no longer a good fit here, you walk away with nothing. You walk away with some experience. You walk away with some lessons learned, a little bit of a bruised ego, a couple things, but you don't walk away with everything that you poured into that business.
Absolutely.
That's just the reality. And most people probably feel that way. Like, all the 9-to-5ers, all the work that we do, like, it's a lot. There's a lot. Think of those mega companies. There's a lot of roles in there that's helping that company continue to thrive. And it goes back to, like, what we talked about before in corporate, and just not appreciating your employees, and not with the $5 Wawa gift card. Like,
I don't want a pizza party.
Really appreciate them. Right. I don't want a pizza party with the pizza that I probably don't even like anyway. But she said that to me, and that's been living in my head rent free. Like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Like, I love everything that I'm doing, but I have to remember that these spaces aren't mine. What's mine is my skill set. So I need to continue to build on my skill set so that I can continue to evolve and expand and learn more. And at the end of the day, the goal is to make more money for more freedom. So I need to do that. Like, it's just what it is.
And when we say, like, I don't know if true for you, true for me, when I say I want to make more money, it's because I can't pay my electric rent and, you know, car payment.
Like the basics.
With, you know, a BBL. Like, I can't offer, you know, PSE&G, like, a free ice sculpting session in order to pay my bill.
If you keep me on for 30 more days, I'll give you a free B12 shot. Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
So, because this world revolves around money, we have to make it. And now we have to figure it out, because it's not, I always tell Veronica, like, I don't have that cash cow every 2 weeks coming in because, you know, I'm working that 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's a luxury.
And if you have to do that, keep it and figure out if it is your passion. You will figure out how to do it on weekends, weeknights, before you go into work, during your lunch break, whatever it is. Like, you will figure it out. But if you have the luxury of having that, keep it for as long as you can. I think Docinco said that one time when he was here. Like, do not just quit because now I'm an entrepreneur and I can make
everything is just going to take off. It's not.
Yeah, you have to, like, there is a whole process.
Yes.
That's my last thing.
It's not easy. I know. It's like, you know, I got 2 cents. I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but no. Like, my why is always my freedom to do whatever it is that I want to do. So in my space right now, I do have freedom. If I'm not working this day, it's just, hey, I'm not working. Of course, I'm going to give you courtesy and say 2 weeks ahead of time, a month ahead of time, these are the days that I won't be here. So I still have my freedom. And I was having a conversation with somebody else about my previous job, where that was my last, like, actual, like, W-2. I'm an employee. I was making over 6 figures, but I had no freedom at all. That means nothing to me. Like, that amount of money with me being tied to a job does nothing for me. Give me half of that and tell me you can run free. I'll be the happiest person, and I will pour everything I got into you, because you gave me the most important thing to me, and that's my freedom. What if you pay me $1 million a year, but I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, I'm still missing stuff for my friends, I'm still missing stuff for my family, I'm not available on the weekends, what am I going to do with the money? I was going to sit there, I can invest it, but again, I can't use it to go anywhere because I'm tied to this fucking job. So I'll take less to give me more freedom. Like, a lot of people are, when that ended, people were just like, but that was good money, it was great money.
I'm sure.
But I was like, all right, it was great money. I stacked a nice little savings, but I should have been on a lot more trips making what I was making, and I couldn't. It's like, so my why is my freedom, and I'm gonna continue to do that.
My why is my family. I want to pay for them. They did everything for me and continue to do so. My why is to make it so my mom doesn't have to whip out her debit card, cash, whatever, when she goes to buy something. Like,
I can do Marshall's run on Glam Studios,
you know, all the time. That's the goal. So.
But that's a wrap on this episode, and we're gonna do the next episode, and the next episode is gonna be just free games. So make sure you get your pens and pencil, paper, digital notebooks, whatever you use.
Your notes app on your iPhone, whatever you use on your Android, you know.
Write these down.
Write it down.
If we were trying to make money off of y'all, we would put that episode on Patreon and charge you, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna give you this free game, and don't say we never did nothing for you.
Okay.
That's it. And that's a wrap on this episode.
Bye.